Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you may be in the world. I'm Sara Jane. This is Thoughtful Nuggets and Pearls on Gift of Healing TV. And our topic for this program is practice the pause. And that is something that I am very definitely helping myself to learn to do. Because it is very easy in many, many different situations and circumstances to jump in with a yes, a no, a judgment, assuming, whatever. And then you give yourself time afterwards to think, and you think, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. I wish I hadn't said that. When we practice that pause, we can actually get ourselves into a lot less trouble. We really can. Thinking about somebody asks you to do something. And if you're like me, as I have been for years, it was always yes. And then I would think about it afterwards and think, oh, why did I say that? If you allow yourself in the majority of given circumstances, situations, doesn't really matter what they are, practice that pause. Allow yourself time to think. Don't be afraid of saying, can you give me some time? I need to double check something. Whatever it is, you do not have to give a reason, an excuse for saying no. You really don't. It's just a, yes, I'm happy to do that. No, I'm not. Or how about I can do this for you? Because if you wish to help in a particular way that is better for you, it may be that they say no, thank you. But that's fine. Practice that pause of saying, can you give me some time? Practice the pause before judgment. We have no idea what is going on in somebody else's life. We really don't. And by giving ourselves that little bit of space in time, because if you're in judgment, there's a good chance that somebody has said something or done something that you've not liked, that you think is wrong. Well, what might be wrong for you may not actually be wrong for them, but we have no idea what's going on in their life. And it is always worth taking a step back, and it's just like, okay. And maybe, and I know for those of you who've watched these before, this saying I have, did you mean what I heard? Ask it. Ask the question. Give yourself a chance to take a deep breath, relax. Don't get stressed out about what's been said, because in so many cases it's what's going on with them. But their terminology may not match our terminology. And by pausing, we can give ourselves that chance to, okay, what actually did they mean by what they said? And you don't repeat them word for word, because majority of times we actually all mean what we've said. There are occasions when we don't. And I know I've done those things. You don't really mean what you've said at all. But then again, that's when maybe we should be practicing the pause too. Think before you speak. How many times did I hear that as a child? Probably a lot. And maybe you have too. And maybe it is thinking before you speak. But how many times? Because I remember getting into so much trouble. Don't speak to me like that. I passed a comment. Oh, I still have a friend that does that to me. It's just like, hang on a second. their interpretation of what I'm saying and what I actually meant are two different things. Yes. Practice the pause. And I suppose before assuming, they make the assumption, or you could make the assumption, you have understood exactly what they meant. And that's not what they've meant at all. Because we do think about things in different ways. We do have different terminologies, and our understanding of words can be sufficiently different to put a different meaning on things. And again, you may have heard me say, I could say something in a room full of 100,000 people, and every single one of them is going to have heard something slightly different. However many of you listen to this, immediately over the years, and what you hear may not be what I have meant. You're all going to take your interpretation of what I have said. And yet, practice the pause before accusing. Because it is so worth, with judging, assuming, and accusing, it is so worth asking questions to be 100% certain you have understood, rather than interpreted in your own way what has been said, done, etc. By practicing the pause, what does it say here? Pause whenever you're about to react harshly, and you'll avoid going and saying, you'll avoid going and saying things. Don't know if I get the going bit. You'll regret later. Yes, okay. You'll avoid saying things you'll regret later. Laurie, I'm not sure how you pronounce her surname, Deschanel. And actually, she's did another quote here. The world would be a happier, more peaceful place if we all tried to understand instead of judging, paused before reacting, and gave each other the benefit of the doubt instead of assuming the worst. And it's that pause. And if we allow ourselves that pause, that chance to fully take something in, except there may be another interpretation, another meaning. The second one you come up with may not be the one they mean either, but at least you're giving yourself a chance, and them a chance. And it is always worth asking, querying. And who am I to judge anyone? And I suppose this has been brought very clearly to me with working with adults with learning difficulties, because it was a real eye-opener. And I first came into contact with them when I was in my late teens, when my parents had a small hotel and we had a group, or several groups, stay with us in the hotel. And I do remember thinking, and I hate this terminology, us and them, I really do, because we are all one, we're all in this together. But I do remember thinking, who's actually got the disability? Those of us that have to go out to work to earn a living, to feed ourselves, clothe ourselves, and put a roof over our head, or those of us that are classed as having a disability, because it was called, well, it was called mentally handicapped in those days, which is not a term I appreciate at all. And who's normal? What's normal for who? And I considered actually that we were the ones with the disability, because we had what we considered all our faculties We're the ones that have to do everything for ourselves. They lived such a cushy little life. I'm not saying it was fun for them. I'm not. I don't know what was going on in their minds, but they had people to take care of them. And they were having fun on a holiday while we were working, waiting their tables, tidying the bedrooms up, etc. And it was just, so yes, for many, many years, I've actually felt, yeah, yes, it is not about judgment. And it is about practicing that pause in so many areas of our lives. And we can keep more peace and calm and a much happier self and others by doing that. I hope that has spoken to you. I hope that has helped give you some food for thought, which is what this is all about. Feel free, you can comment on the website, you can send me a personal email at giftofhealingtv @gmail.com, or on the website under the Thoughtful Nuggets and Pearls page. That's giftofhealingtv.com. Oh, apologize. Not with it at all in some respects. Please feel free to get in touch. Happy to hear from you. I will not be doing a program next week, as I will be away in Norway for a couple of days. That's to do with a magazine, an online magazine I write for. So looking forward to that. I will be back, however, on the 19th of June. Stuck. That's it. I'm going to leave it at that. Please feel free to go to the website. That will be on the upcoming page until it's ready to go on the home page, which will be after I get back from Norway. In the meantime, have a wonderful time. Enjoy the rest of your week, month, whatever, and I will see you again soon. Love, peace, and light to you all. Namaste.